Alright, I'm back. Here's the second quest. I did not do the first quest because it was kill the small monsters. This one you do have to kill small monsters, but after you're done with that, you can kill the big, great jaggers.
Okay. Our job is to cull a certain number of Kestodon. Recently, their numbers have been getting out of hand.
Want to get going?
This is the supply box. You get rations, potions, and you get empty files. The files are for bows, for coding. There's the map. I filled out more, and you can see a lot more details, but I'm not going over that. When I do fight a big monster, I'm going to cut out the walking in between.
There we are. Those, my friend, are Kestodon. Let's see you take him out on your own.
The reason why I'm doing that is because the walking isn't necessary. You can tell where the monster's going if you just follow it. Unless if it's a flying one. And it's not easy to tell. Anyways, this is the Great Sword. The Great Sword, if you press and hold the triangle button, you will do a charge attack. It's got 3 stages. The first stage is not that strong. The second stage is not that strong. But the third stage is typically the one that you want to hit off. And then circle does this round slash, and then triangle plus circle gets the vertical backward slash, which is good for hitting tails on big monsters. Anyways, these monsters are a bit of a pain in the butt because, especially the males, they just do that. Why did I pick to choose to do the Great Sword? Also, as you just saw, that was the flower that heals. Also, you can tell, yeah, there's the health bar in the top right. The yellow bar is the stamina, and the little knife that's green, that is sharpness.
Alright, let's look for another group. Be careful.
No, I'm doing it the dumb way. Anyways, for sharpness, the best we can do for now is green. We can't get blue until a little bit later in the game. And then it turns to yellow, as you can tell. Yellow's fine. Orange, you'll start bouncing, like that. And you never want to be in red, because if you're in red sharpness, you won't be able to do enough damage to kill anything. And also, you'll just be bouncing the whole time. I killed the bird. Anyways, I'm gonna cut out most of this stuff because there's nothing really interesting that happens. Wow, I shot it. Wow, I shot it. Wow, I shot it. Yeah, that's not interesting to anyone. I'm just gonna leave in the funny things, or what I think is funny.
Good work. Just about wraps up our work here. Wait. Hey, come here. Think I found something. Here. Look at those Kestodon. Something's up with them.
Eat 'em up. Anyways,
Now!
he does that in the actual game. He doesn't just do it in the cutscene.
All right, partner.
And
New
they
assignment
also tell you
incoming.
you can go
Take
back,
down that great
but
Jagress.
there's no reason to.
If you're not ready, you can return to base and take on the Great Jagress quest later.
And there he is. Anyways, big monsters are different because you can break their parts. For this one, you can break its claws, its head, and you can break its belly. Because, why not? Anyways, when you do break them, you will get a reward in the quest rewards from breaking parts. The other difference is you can also mount large monsters if you do aerial attacks. That's a level 3 charge.
The weapon is losing its sharpness. Create some distance, then use a whetstone.
Anyways, like they said, the whetstone is used to sharpen your weapon. Typically, you want to leave the area the monster's in, but whenever I do play Monster Hunter, I don't do that. I just wait for a big opening like this, and I'll sharpen the weapon. And for me, most of the time it works. Also, this is the thing that they added, is you can actually run around when you drink a potion, eat a ration, or use an antidote. So you don't just sit there and take the damage. But as you can tell, we're back to green sharpness. This monster though, yeah, you really don't have to worry about it. Also, yeah, monsters can pin you down like that. And normally it's pretty bad if you don't have dung bombs, because if you have a dung bomb, you can just throw it at them and get rid of them.
The monsters are running away. Use the scout flies as a guide and they'll lead you right to them.
One thing I like about this game is that, the tight hitboxes. Because as you can tell, I didn't get hit, but I still hit its tail. And that would be really good if this wasn't a monster that you could cut its tail, but it's not. Because that would count as a cutting hit on the tail.
Yeah.
And this is a mount.
Now's your chance to top us.
Anyways, whenever you get a mount, you can press triangle as it's telling you rapidly, and you just have to press it for so long until you get prompted to press it again, and you'll do the weapon's like special attack, and you're gonna see it shortly. Here it is. It's just a level 3 charge if you can time it right. And it always topples a monster. And it's really not that hard to mount a monster, especially if you use the insect glaive. The insect glaive is just free mounting. Also, another thing that I like with the greatsword is I like how if you do a second stage charge and you press triangle right after that, you'll do a shoulder tackle. Also, I like how you can aim a charge attack. And as you can tell, I broke one of its parts, and you get that on the side. You won't really know what you broke unless you pay attention to what it was that it said. Like where you were attacking it. Which I broke its head, which means I'll get the head reward. I won't get its head, but I'll get the part from its head. And as you can tell, there it was. It was just eating that Aptonoff. Anyways, there's just a bunch of different slinger ammo that you can use. This is piercing pods.
Look,
it just works like piercing ammo.
Chances are it'll retreat to its nest to recuperate.
I do like this though, the flash flies. They work like flash bombs in a way. As you can tell, those Jaguars are stunned. I broke another part. I actually think you can break the tail, but you can't cut the tail off. As you can tell, it's got like this white breaking mark on its tail. But you can't actually cut off the tail. Yeah, I like that shoulder tackle. And then this is my favorite, how do you do that? Yeah, you really don't have to go back. I don't get why they think, oh, it's gonna be that hard. They tell you, oh, this monster is the first big monster. It's gonna be a hard thing to do. It's not. Anyways, then yeah, you get all your rewards from carving. You only get 3 unless you cut off a tail. You'll get a 4th reward. And on our last carve, we actually got the rare material.
I think we got a lead.
Maybe. Let's check it out. Hey. Well, you were right. There's our mark. Something's got him agitated. Look over there. What in the heck is that? I've never seen anything like it.
You think it's from Zora Magdaros?
I'd like to find out. But we better report back first. All right?
That monster is the new Gypseros, in a way. Because it's the poison monster. Oh, I just like that final attack. Whenever you do a quest, it shows you what the last thing was right before you finished it. And that is one of the better ones. Because half the time whenever you kill it, it's just like, oh, it's just one explosion. You can't actually see what happened. But this one I like. It's just really got a lot of detail. One thing I like is if you look at the money, you actually get more money if you don't have anyone else doing quests with you. And I'm actually going to do all my quests by myself. I'm not going to do with anyone else because I feel like that would make it too easy.
I see.
Uh-huh. Want to get going?
Once the camp is set up, you can go after that Puke Puke.
I wonder where the resource center is.
Alright, so I actually didn't know if I was going to do this as its own episode or not, but I'll just add it because it's not that long, in my opinion. And I don't know, maybe you guys want longer videos. Plus, all the other episodes will probably be around this time, just for one monster, because it's really long. Anyways, this is expeditions. Whenever you do an expedition, there's no supplies, but like they tell you, you can faint as many times as you want and you don't get penalized. And here I just thought I'd do something dumb and I'll fight the Jagerus because I thought this is what I had to do, but I don't. Anyways, we're using Charge Blade. Charge Blade is different. How it works is a lot different from any other weapon. So you got two forms, the axe and the sword. This is the attack you want to go for, is that powered up. I actually think this is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen, is he just starts throwing up. I don't get it. Why did Capcom think it was a good idea? But yeah, you just want to go for attacks like that. Now he's skinny. Maybe that's why. he just wanted to get skinny. And now he's dead. And then I finally figured out where I had to go. Because this is for setting up a camp. So we don't have to start at the same camp the whole time. That's one thing I like about this game. Is you actually get multiple camps.
Well, if we don't take care of that pest, the camp won't last a night.
I really don't understand why they call it a pest. It's not a pest. It's like the Great Jagerus, where they say, oh, you can go back and do this quest later because it might be too easy to do. And really it is too easy. There's not really any big threat with doing this quest. Anyways, the Charge Blade. You'll get this red gauge every now and then after striking so many times. And you'll start bouncing because you'll have to charge the blade to get the vials in order to do the strong attack. And when you get the vials, for the most part, you want to put them in the shield so you can do the really strong attack like this. So then you gotta fill the vials again so that way you can do the super strong attack, or it's called an elemental discharge. And the big problem with this monster is it'll just pick up a rock, and you really can't attack it. If you try attacking it, you'll start to bounce, which means you're not going to be doing any damage. And this monster is like the Jagerus in that you can't cut its tail, I believe, and you can really only break its head and its claws for breaking parts. Other than that, there's not really that much to this monster. I don't really get why they have it in the game. There's no sense in using it. But this Charge Blade in particularly is the Great Jagerus's Charge Blade, which to make it, you're going to need to make the Bone Charge Blade, and then you're going to have to upgrade it a bit into this Jagerus Charge Blade. Also, if you run out of stamina, you're going to do that, which you're going to start doing that panting, which you don't want to do because you're going to be more vulnerable to attacks. Really though, this monster's not really that hard. I don't get it. And then he just runs around in a circle. I don't understand why he does it. But, yeah, it's really easy. Also, the cat will start doing that. I know later you can get better stuff for the cat, so it won't just use that healing move where it will send out a healing thing, but I think that's probably going to be the better thing you can get. And there you can see I broke its head, which I think was just the beak. I don't know if you can break it again to break that little feather plume he has. I want to say you can, but I'm not sure. That hit actually still counts, which is odd because you would think I missed it, but I hit the tail. And then you see he picks up a rock again. That's the only hard part with this monster. He just picks up a rock. Other than that, there's nothing. most of these beginning monsters, you actually won't need anything special with them. You won't need elemental weapons. Later on, you're going to start needing elemental weapons because it just makes hunting the monsters easier, especially when it's a tougher monster, because you'll start doing more damage. But for these first monsters, you actually don't need it, and you won't get elemental weapons for a while. The best we can do for now is just standard. And yeah, I got him out. I do think the mounting mechanics are interesting. I think it's cool that each weapon does their own little special thing. I think if you had your files, you could do yeah, it's a super amplified elemental discharge, which means if you had the files, I believe you could do that really strong elemental attack that's gonna happen right now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could do that if you had all your files. Which is a little odd because this weapon, I think, is the only one where that is true, in that you have to have a certain thing to do the special mounting attack, right? And then you can see another thing is when a monster gets to the point where you're about to kill it, an easy way to tell that is either it's going to start eating like this is, and he's just going to try to eat an egg, or it's going to go to sleep. And when it does that, it's normally an indicator that you can capture a monster. But that won't matter either, because capturing a monster just gives you sometimes more rewards, but sometimes it actually doesn't give you more rewards. The only cases in which it's good to capture a monster is if one of the parts are easier to get from a capture. One of them, typically the most famous for being the difficult parts to get, are plates, because they got either a 1 or a 2% chance, and you're going to need a couple of those plates if you want to make a weapon or the armor from a particular monster. And that's the only reason you really want to capture a monster. And one thing I don't like is after this expedition, they start doing it where after you're done with a mission, it's going to send you back to a camp instead of sending you straight back to the town, which I think is a bit dumb. But you can easily fix that by just pressing the right stick in. But in order to go back, you either have to go into the map and go into the world map and select the town, or you have to go back to a camp and select end expedition. But one of the cool things is, because I killed that Great Jaguarus, I got some Great Jaguarus rewards, as well as that new monster we just fought. One thing I do like about this game, though, is there are a lot of new monsters. Anyways, that does it for this episode. If you like it, just do whatever you want.